Hi everyone and welcome to yet another impulsively made Metallica review. Well, impulsively and quickly because of a shortage of time. So as you can see, nothing was filmed. No professional audio because I'm waiting for some equipment to arrive. Anyway, we're taking a look at the latest Metallica song and analyzing the lyrics like always. This one is called If Darkness Had a Sun. I have a million things to say about this one. And this time I'm not gonna comment on the overall sound because I've already done that twice on Luxy Turner and Screaming Suicide. So let's begin with the title. If Darkness Had a Sun. That's a long title. And it's interesting because it's not really spoiling the subject of the song. We have a really cool drum intro, only drums, which is really rare on Metallica songs. I mean, I can only think of Motor Breath, The Struggle Within, 2x4, Bad Seed, and The View. Also, it kind of reminds me of Spit Out the Bone. Then we have the amazing riff by Kirk Hammett. The riff which immediately got my attention the moment I heard it in the TikTok video they uploaded a day before. It sounds new and original and different and nothing like any Metallica riff we've ever heard. But then there's this riff or phrase. I didn't really like this one. I think it's a little short, a little weak, and I don't really like the way it ends. So far the intro reminds me of two songs, Now That We're Dead and an interesting one, Holier Than Thou. And here's why. Listen to Holier and you'll notice this. Both songs have the same kind of intro. The intro that comes before the main riff has a unique first riff which is played on top of the rhythm. It rests a little bit and then moves to the second riff which is closer to the main riff. And then the song takes off. The song has a nice, good refrain. Then the verse has a lot of interesting things. First of all, it sounds like the guitar riff is in A minor, but the vocals are in E minor. Those two key signatures are actually related, and they definitely work together. Now Lars is doing something that's really cool and wicked. He's playing double bass and toms in the verse. Another thing which I don't think I've ever heard from Metallica. There are some really evil backing vocals, so there's a really sinister vibe created here. And I'm starting to think that Metallica is discovering and searching for new ways and approaches to write music. Because this so far has been really experimental. Now we move on to the chorus. The vocals, I'll be honest, are a little weak. I mean, they're not bad, they just could have been better. And at the end of the chorus, there is this one thing that I'm gonna address later on, which is super important. It's when James sings, "Temptation Leave Me Be." Yeah, I think you know already what I'm talking about. And I just want to say that on this song, James is pouring his heart out. You can tell how much there's anguish and pain in his voice. He is feeling those lyrics and that's great. Now we'll move on to another very critical part. Yup, you know what I'm talking about, the solo. Now before I begin to critique, I'm definitely gonna give Kirk his credit. This solo is indeed better. I'm not gonna say that this one didn't get any complaints. It did, but not as many as the ones that Luxy Turner and Screaming Suicide got. Now last night I watched a new video by Andriy Vasilenko where he reviewed the song and said some things that I agreed with about the solo. He said that the solo is long, is really long, almost a minute. But the majority of that solo was just random and meaningless parts. And then he said another thing that also sounded really true to me. And it's that one of the biggest mistakes that Metallica is doing right now is having the good parts and the bad parts, but focusing more on the bad parts. They have good riffs, but they don't play them long enough. They don't let you enjoy it and instead go to the bad one and play it over and over again. I don't really understand what the issue is with the solos on this album. I think everyone expected a lot more from him, especially after his solo album came out. I mean, that was amazing. But still, we cannot really judge yet. Because what have we heard from this album so far except 3 songs? There's still a lot to go, so we'll see. And hopefully we'll hear some high quality soloing. Now I want to point out something that also Andriy pointed out. It's the riff that's beneath the solo. This one is also new. And last night I was trying so hard to remember what this riff reminded me of. This morning while I was making some coffee, I finally remembered. Another good thing during the solo, the song had some breakdowns. mid-solo breakdowns. Like they were going halftime, then back to double time, then halftime again, then back to double time. It's a good way of being diverse. We go all the way to the outro, and there's something that I really did not expect. And it's amazing. The song ends with a bass outro. A Robert Trujillo distorted bass outro with obviously more effects than just distortion, but it sounds amazing. Feels like he's channeling his inner Cliff Burton, but at the same time being the one and only Rob Trujillo. So I love the song. Overall, it's really cool and amazing. Has a lot of stuff, has a lot of new stuff, a lot of experimenting. And I just want to say that Metallica has absolutely leveled up. And I'm really confident this one's gonna become a fan favorite easily. And despite the fact that it can remind you of many older Metallica songs, just like pretty much all new Metallica songs, which has become inevitable at this point, it's still got a lot of new, original, never heard before stuff. Also, I want to praise Metallica for taking the time to make the song. When I reviewed Screaming Suicide, I said that I believed that the song was put together real quick, and I think that was the reason behind the weakness of the song musically. So I highly appreciate that this song is well thought out. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed. What are your thoughts on this song? Tell me in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.